Hello Year 1 and welcome to your second geography lesson where we will be learning about what are the polar regions like. If you need to pause this video at any time to give you more time to answer questions or look at pictures or read, then feel free to do so. Okay, we're going to do a knowing more and remembering more now, so make sure you've got a pen and pencil in front of you ready to answer these questions. So, question 1. The South Pole is in the Arctic. True or false? Question 2. Which of these provides the energy that makes the Earth's climate? A torch, sun, sea, or snow and ice? Our challenge question. Is the weather the same as climate? Pause the video and have a go at answering those questions. Okay, so you should have answered them by now. Let's have a look at the answers. So the South Pole is in the Arctic. This is false. Which of these provides the energy that makes the Earth's climate? The answer is the sun. And is climate the same as weather? No. Weather is the day-to-day conditions and climate is the conditions over the long term. So what are the polar regions? To answer this question, we are going to explain what the weather is like in polar regions. We are going to explain what animals live in the polar regions, and we can explain the difference between summer and winter in polar regions. Here's our knowledge organizer. What are the polar regions like? Our vocabulary, so the words you already know are polar, storm, Arctic, Antarctica. And the keywords that you'll meet, let's do my turn, your turn. Polar night, midnight sun, adapted. Well done for having a go at reading those words. So our lesson. So what is weather like in the polar regions? Think back to the lesson that we did last week. What did we say the polar regions were like? We said that the polar regions were the coldest on Earth. Can you remember why? Pause the video and tell the screen. That's right, well done. The polar regions receive the least amount of the sun's energy, and that's why they are the coldest on Earth. So the weather is extremely cold and there are frequent fierce storms and it's so windy. It's very, very windy. During the winter, the Arctic and Antarctica have a polar night. That's one of our keywords for this lesson. During this time, it is always dark. What do you think it's like to live in the Arctic when it's always dark? Can you imagine if when you woke up it was still dark and it was dark all throughout the day? Discuss what that would be like with a grown-up or tell the screen. Okay, so during the summer, the Arctic and the Antarctica have something that's called the midnight sun, which is another one of our keywords. The midnight sun is where the sun never sets and it's always light. So it's the complete opposite to a polar night. It's always light. What do you think it's like to live in the Arctic when it is always light? I would like you to think about that question as you watch the video about midnight sun in the Arctic. As you can see, the next day and the sun still has not set and it's rising again for the next morning. Okay, what lives in the polar regions? Think about this question. Do you think it's easy to live in the polar regions? Or do you think it's difficult to live in the polar regions? And why do you think this? Pause the video and tell the screen or tell a grown-up. So well done if you said it is difficult to live in the polar regions. Due to the difficult climate, only certain animals can live in polar regions. What animals can you see? Pause the video and point to all the animals you can see and name them. What lives in the Arctic? What are these animals? Can you name them? That's right. They are polar bears and walruses. Polar bears live in the Arctic. Walruses also live in the Arctic. What lives in Antarctica? Can you name this animal? Well done. Penguins. These are penguins. Penguins have adapted to living in the Antarctica. Adapted is one of our key words. It just means that they have many features about them that make sure that they're suited to live in the Antarctica. So they found the best way for them to live and survive and flourish in the environment that they live in. So your task today, which of these would you expect to see in polar regions and what would you not expect to see? We've got to sort these. Which animals do you think would live in the cold polar regions? And you also have to test the knowledge. You will have these questions in your Purple Mash quizzes. So head over to Pepper Mash and now have a go at completing your quiz. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.